Well, take me out to the ball game. It's time for baseball in the area, as if you don't know. And the Dubois County Bombers will start their season Friday, May 30th. Joining us in the studio is the new general manager for the Dubois County Bombers. That's Joe Mundy, a familiar face, really, to many people around here.
I would hope so. I've lived here my entire life. Really excited to get started with the Bombers this season. May 30th, we do open up at home. We have the Flying Frisbee Hounds dog show coming in from Louisville to do a presentation after the game is over for the kids and for the adults as well. It's a great show. They've been on all kind of NBA and NFL ball games and Tonight shows, Today shows. So they're coming in. It's a quality act. We're really looking forward to having a great crowd.
Okay, now I know Kurt Guxell with WJTS Sports has done a great job of covering the Dubois County Bombers and the baseball part of it, but I'd like to talk to you more about the spectator part. Why should folks go to see the Dubois County Bombers play?
It is an entertainment venue is what it's all about. If you've not been down to League Stadium, the improvements that have been made since last year alone, let alone with what Columbia Pictures left us, is a great venue to organize and to hold these baseball games. But it's all about the family. You know, it's cheap entertainment. You know, general admission tickets are like $5 a piece. You can come down for a family of four, spend $20 to get in the game, and have a Coke, a hot dog, the brat. I think they're having a pulled pork sandwich this year as well, expanding the dining repertoire, if you will. So it's just a great venue to watch an athletic event, to come down, to be with friends. It's just a great venue to watch a baseball game and to be entertained, and that's what we're all about.
How many home games are there?
20 home game season.
20, okay, so it's a 40-game season, right? And 20
Correct.
home games? Okay.
Yes.
And they're all played at Huntingburg's League Stadium, which is a tremendous facility. It always concerns me about where you should park, because you don't want to really park where you're in certain spots.
That is
right?
one. There are local, there are close spots that you do take your vehicle into your own hands, so to speak.
Foul ball.
Foul ball. And but there is parking, ample parking down towards the Little League fields. Across the park, on the north side of the park, there's parking there as well. So, and then there's parking on the streets, coming into League Stadium down through town. So, don't let that hesitate to bring you down to the stadium. It's just there's ample parking, and obviously some nights will be bigger than others, and we are expecting some large crowds this year. So, the bigger the better, just come down and have fun. Now,
we want to point out that this is another reason to go to see a Bombers game, is you're not going to pay for parking. It's free parking wherever you happen to park, whether you're in the park or wherever. You go to a Major League game, you're probably talking $20 that you're going to have to park your car. And we talked about the food, and the food is not the exorbitant prices that there are at a Major League Baseball.
Correct. I mean, you're talking, Bob Allmeyer, Old School Cafe, takes care of all our concessions and does a great job, but I'm thinking we're having, the beers, we're having 16-ounce craft beers coming in the first part of the year for the May game. And the June game, we have Albanian Beer Company coming in out of New Albany. They'll have two different craft beers. Hediger Beverage will have two different craft beers that night, along with their regular Budweiser products. Then in the month of July, New Basket Case Brewery in Jasper is going to have the two craft beers down there for the beverage side of things on the alcohol side. And then the food side, you'll have the typical brats, hot dogs, hamburgers. They've added a pulled pork sandwich this year to try and expand that a little bit. But as I recall, you can come down there for $5, $6 and get you the hamburger, a drink, soft drink, and or a brat and be fine. Whereas at a Major League ballpark,
no, doesn't work.
We know where those prices are.
Now, are all the tickets general admission, or
No,
is there reserved seating?
There is reserved seating. For an individual game, you're looking at the red seats are $7 for an individual game. The orange seats, which are chairbacks as well as the reds, are $6, and then the general admission are $5. And normally the red seats are what's right behind home plate, section or two over, and then the orange seats will take it down the third baseline and first baseline. And there are general admission tickets that are chairbacks down the third baseline. So if you're there early enough and you do want a chair back, but you only want to buy the $5 general admission ticket, you can still get a chair back down the third baseline, which is where our third base deadbeats sit. And that's sometimes a very enjoyable place to sit.
Well, let's talk about that group. That is an interesting group. They make the game fun.
They really
themselves.
do. Wayne Porter is the commissioner of the third base deadbeats, I guess unofficially. He may say officially, but he does a great job organizing those gentlemen down there and ladies, and they bring their little ponies down there. They're racing during the game, and stick ponies, and
Making a lot of racket.
They do a lot. They make a lot of racket down there, and they make it enjoyable. You really kind of wait for them to do something that you don't expect, and they'll be up there dancing with the peaches during their Cotton Eye Joe dance and everything else going on, and they really come to have a great time, and they do. I've got to mention Mo Blessinger. He's one of the deadbeats, and he goes out and he takes care of our manual scoreboard for the majority of the games. He does a phenomenal job. Looking forward to having him back again, and everybody gets involved. That's the great thing about it down there. And families come down to sit with friends and to be entertained and to reminisce. Maybe they played ball in League Stadium years ago in high school, and it's just a great opportunity for friends to visit with friends and have a great time and be entertained.
And there's you also have the peaches, which you mentioned.
Kate Ozer, she's been with the Bombers organization probably the longest of anybody, but she takes care of the peaches, and she does a great job having those girls organized. And they're, before the game, they're there taking tickets at the gate, and then they're doing all the little games in between the innings for the kids. They have a dizzy bat spin, they have a water balloon baseball hitting contest or something along those lines, and then other games. Kids get to go out and run the bases at the end of the game, and Kate does a great job with getting the girls, the peaches, all involved, and just going out and interacting with the crowd. And along with our Casey mascot, Corey Egler and Corey Ozer, they're splitting that again this year as they did last year, and they go out and entertain the crowd and the kids. And years ago when we were the Dragons and we had the full costume that had, the kids couldn't make eye contact, and they were a little bit scared of the Dragon in my mind. Now with Corey, they can see him. He's just in a baseball uniform. He's a regular guy, and he gets in and interacts with the crowd and does a fantastic job for us there, and just another way to entertain.
Okay, now everything you described seems to make this be a spectacle, just a lot of fun. It's not going and sitting in your seat and watching a baseball game. There is so many activities.
So much else going on besides the baseball game, and we really feel that if we're doing our job and we're entertaining the crowd, that they're going to leave that stadium. Many of them probably won't remember what the score was, but they just know they had a great time. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about. We want to provide something for Dubois County that the people can come in and say, yeah, that's something that we can do on a Friday night or a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, whatever it is. And be entertained, not spend a lot of money, go down, have a great time, take the kids. It's a family event. It really is.
Taking the kids is important because how many kids are playing Little League this year? And this is a chance for them to go and see a game, and it's affordable.
It really is.
And then they get a little more up close and personal too.
We want those kids down there because they idolize some of these players, and so many of the kids. We have our host families, and if they have kids, they idolize these players. I mean, my nephew Mike and Mary host 2 players this summer, and Mick looks at it every summer. He's got a couple big brothers to hang with, and he's down there at the stadium all the time. He wants to go down there and get the autographs of the players before the game, and we really encourage the kids, come on down. That's what it's all about. This is their first maybe introduction to organized baseball at a professional level, and while these kids aren't professional, they're not getting paid. Mm-hmm. That's still what they're shooting for. I mean, they're still trying to make a name for themselves. This is their chance to be seen, mm-hmm. and maybe advance into that single-A, triple-A farm club of a major league ball club.
Now, the season opens May 20th, Friday night.
May 30th.
Tomorrow night. May 30th, yeah, that's right. I have my dates all mixed
up. That's
fine. What time is the game?
The game times start Monday through Saturday. Game times are at 7 o'clock. Sunday night games start at 6. So this Friday night will be a 7 o'clock start. Mm-hmm. Gates will open an hour early, so come in early, and the fun starts right away as soon as you enter the stadium. So, it's the weather forecast right now looks a little iffy middle of the week, but I think it's going to clear up by Friday, and we'll be ready to go.
It's going to be baseball weather.
Baseball weather, exactly.
Now, how long does the game go? So people kind of have an idea of what.
You're looking 2.5, 3 hours maybe. They usually try and keep things moving along. We did have a owners meeting here a couple weeks ago down in Eddyville, Kentucky, and that was one of the emphases that we wanted to make sure that we keep things moving along. We don't try and drag things out. people want to come down to the ball games, but they don't want to sit there for an extended period of time. And so we try and make sure that things keep moving along, and that our in-between inning activities don't take a lot of time away from the ball game, because that's what they're all there for.
Now, you have a website, I'm sure, that people can go to get the schedule, because we know that the game's going to open on May 30th on Friday night, but there's another game coming up next week right away.
Exactly.
What are the home
we have a
games?
20-game home season, and so really trying to encourage people to come out. We have our corporate sponsors have been fantastic again this year. I do have to mention OFS Brands and Hank Minke and Bankers Life and Casualty Company. Wes Fink works for that company. He's our manager. And they've come on board this year as our 2014 naming rights partners. And they, along with Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center, they're sponsoring our athletic trainer this year. And then we have so many other corporate sponsors that have jumped on the board with the Bombers again this year. And we're looking for some great crowds. I think last year we had, our 4th of July game was primarily our only sellout last year. And really looking forward, I think we've got like 6 or 7 other games that are going to be pushing sellouts this year. So the support in the community has been fantastic. If anyone's still wanting tickets for individual games or season tickets, they can call the office at 683-3700 and still get those tickets. And whether it's an individual game or a season pass, we have a half season pass where you can get 10 tickets and you can decide which games you want to come to, other than the 4th of July. The 4th of July is not part of the half season package, but it's just a fantastic way to come down, support the team, and have fun while you're doing it. And
this year's team, this year's ownership, this year's manager, not opposed to last year's, but it seems to be local first. It's a group of local folks that came together and said, we're going to buy the Bombers.
Last year when these guys came in and bought out the previous ownership, I think that was their main focus all along. There's like 24 different owners, and they wanted to make sure that we had local players, which this year we have 3 boys from Jasper, 1 boy from Heritage Hills. We have Dane and Mark Giesler from Jasper, Nick Gobert from Jasper, and Tyree Birch from Jasper. And really wanted to push and make an emphasis on keeping those local players here. Now, to be eligible to play for the Bombers, they must be on their college team. They must be recommended by their college coach. So, there's still things we have to, hoops and hurdles to get our players, our local players, eligible and to get on our team. But we're looking for players. We're looking at kids in high school right now that we think have an opportunity to go on and play in college, and we plan on asking them back to be on the Bomber squad here in the next couple of years as well. So, if we get the local kids to come back here and play, players, families, relatives, everything, they'll come back and they'll watch. I mean, that'll increase attendance, and it just feeds off of each other. And
everybody has more fun that way.
Everybody does have more fun. If I'm going to go to a ball game and I know a couple kids out there, or I knew their brothers, I know their parents or whatever, I'm going to come down and watch them. I want to see how they're going to do. And it's all about to keep playing, because these kids have dreams to hopefully one day make it to the major league level, and it's a chance to be seen by scouts. We never know when scouts are going to come in, and they don't either. So it's just they're out there playing their hardest, and these are the kids that they're trying just as hard as the players that are getting paid in the minor leagues and everything else, and they still want to make a name for themselves.
Well, Joe, thank you very much for coming in. And it's good to see, it's like we're going, in today's world, we get so spread apart with so many activities, but this is one big community event that everybody can be a part of.
Everybody can be a part of it. We really encourage everybody to do that, between our host families who give up their time and homes to have these players stay with them for the summer. Cheryl Ranger, she organizes that for us, does a phenomenal job. And it's just great the way everybody just jumped on ship, and we have all these kids. When they came in this morning, they were picking up their uniforms and they were all excited. I mean, their season's just finished up like last Friday or Saturday, and they're all here ready to play, and they were excited this morning. And we're holding our first practice tonight, and so really excited. So,
well, we're excited to get going to the baseball games.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on board, and Spread the word.
Joe, thank you very much
Bill,
for coming
thank
in.
you.
Our guest has been Joe Mundy, the general manager of the Dubois County Bombers. The season opens Friday, May 20th, and if you can't make that game, there's plenty of games. There's 19 others that you can get at Huntingburg's League Stadium. Thank you for watching WJTS in Form. See you at the ball game.